Welcome back to the deep dive. So while most of the world was, taking a break for the holiday, it seems the entire AI industry decided December 25th, 2025 was the day to release everything.
It's an interesting paradox, isn't it? Global downtime on one side and high-stakes AI development on the other.
Absolutely. And sorting through all that chaos, it seems like the sources are all pointing to one major theme.
They are. The materials confirm this really profound shift. AI is just not an experimental cost center anymore. It's moved decisively into a platform-based, profit-generating machine.
Right, it's infrastructure.
Exactly. Integrated into pretty much every workflow you can think of.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Our mission today is to analyze what these holiday revelations really mean. The narrative seems to be the maturing of what we call the AI factory.
And that's characterized by a few things. New hybrid architectures, these brewing platform wars over who owns the user interface, and maybe most importantly, quantifiable financial returns.
Real money.
Real money in the enterprise world.
So let's start with the foundational science. What I found fascinating is that the bedrock of modern AI, the huge transformer architecture, is finally getting some real competition.
That is the critical takeaway from NVIDIA's Nemotron 3 family release.
Specifically that Nano model, right?
Right, the Nemotron 3 Nano. This is a huge strategic pivot because it uses a hybrid Mamba-Transformer architecture.
And why does that matter? For our listeners, what's the big deal?
Well, the standard transformer has a big problem. It has what's called quadratic computational complexity. The more data you feed it, the more expensive it gets to run, and not in a linear way.
So this hybrid approach is about efficiency.
It's a decisive move towards superior inference efficiency. Getting the answers out, not just training the model, it's a big deal for large-scale modeling.
So if the original transformer was like a powerful but inefficient mainframe, this new model is more like a modern, efficient hybrid server.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about getting more computation for less cost, which, directly impacts the profitability of that AI factory we were talking about.
And that search for efficiency isn't just in the core model structure, is it?
Not at all. We're seeing generative techniques, the kind you usually associate with, say, AI art, being applied to hard science. Take the spatiotemporal latent diffusion model, STLDM.
That's a mouthful. So for those of us not reading RCiv every day, what does operating in a latent space actually mean for something like weather prediction?
To put it simply, latent space means the model isn't looking at all the raw data. It's working with a compressed essential version of it.
It's just faster.
Much faster. By applying these generative diffusion techniques to precipitation forecasting, the STLDM gets much higher temporal resolution, more accurate short-term weather predictions. It's pure utility.
And this is all being driven by just a relentless pace of research. The volume is incredible.
It really is. The arXiv repository announced a batch of new AI papers on Christmas Day.
How many?
Approximately 2,500 AI papers, just in that one batch.
That is staggering.
It just highlights that the global research engine does not stop. And that volume forces companies to try and lock down talent and IP right now.
Which brings us to that Hanshow and Cambridge partnership.
Exactly. Hanshow, they're a leader in digital store solutions. They've entered into a multi-year research deal with the University of Cambridge. This UK-China partnership is focused on next-gen intelligent wireless tech. They're securing that foundational research years ahead of time.
And that foundational research feeds directly into the product wars that just seem to erupt today. This feels like the real battlefield for dominance, controlling the interface.
It is, whether that's the browser, your desktop, or even the physical world.
The US players seem to be fighting over the screen.
They are. OpenAI launched its AI-powered browser, ChatGPT Atlas. This makes them a direct competitor to Chrome, to Safari, to everyone.
But the killer feature is the screen context awareness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Paired with that agent mode.
That's the core of it. The browser itself understands what you are looking at visually and can act on it. It completely redefines web discovery.
So while OpenAI wants to own the browser, Anthropic is going for the entire desktop.
Right, with their computer use API. It's now an open beta for Claude 3.5 Sonnet.
And this allows the model to see screenshots and then emulate clicks and typing.
Yes, across any application. It doesn't matter if it's a modern web app or some legacy desktop software. The potential for automating enterprise work is massive.
But, and this is the big but, what's crucial is how open they were about the current limits.
They were. Testing showed the model failed about 37% of complex airline booking tasks.
Wait, 47%.
Yeah.
For a company that's all about safety and reliability, isn't releasing something that fails almost half the time on a pretty common task? I don't know, doesn't that undermine their whole message?
It's a really important question. I think it shows just how incredibly hard it is to deal with the messy reality of user interfaces. You have pop-ups, you have scrolling, different authentication flows.
So the 47% is really a sign of honesty.
I think so. It's an honest metric showing the gap between the promise of total automation and the current real-world reliability.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's pivot from interfaces to creative infrastructure, 11 Labs.
Yes. They're known for voice synthesis, but now they're entering the AI music generation market, and they have a critical differentiator,
It's cleared for commercial use.
which is a massive legal development. They went out and proactively signed licensing deals with major rights holders like Merlin Network and Cobalt. This means the music it generates is legally safe to use commercially. It sets a huge precedent.
So while the U.S. is focused on digital interfaces and IP, China seems to be all about physical scale.
A completely different approach. Tuya Smart launched Hey Tuya, a super AI life assistant built on what they call their Physical AI Engine, or PAE.
This is way more than just a chatbot.
Oh yeah, this platform already handles 155 million daily interactions.
155 million a day.
A day, across over 12,000 different agents. This isn't just a product launch. It's deep infrastructure control over a massive ecosystem of physical smart devices.
That number is it's mind-boggling. It shows a totally different AI factory model, one built on device integration, not just conversation.
And that ambition goes right into the workplace. Look at DingTalk.
They unveiled Agent OS, the first intelligent operating system for an AI-integrated workspace.
And to make it tangible, they launched hardware to go with it, the Haiwan AI front desk, for example. It automates visitor management, greetings, 24/7. They're institutionalizing AI in every corner of the office.
And finally, pushing the physical limits even further, there's that humanoid robot half marathon in Beijing.
Right, and they've confirmed the 2026 rules will be much stricter. It's all about forcing better endurance and reliability.
And the motivation is purely commercial.
Purely. There are strict penalties for changing a battery on the track or for any human intervention. And the champion robot, it becomes eligible for industrial orders worth over $1 million yuan.
Which is about 142,000 US dollars. So they're using competition to drive real-world, industrial-grade autonomy.
2 days.
Okay, so we've covered the software and the platform wars. Let's talk about the colossal financial engine driving all of this, the hardware.
The numbers here are almost hard to comprehend. A new report on the global AI hardware market projects it will expand from about $31 billion today
To what?
to $624.4 billion by 2035.
Wow.
That's a compound annual growth rate of over 31%. This isn't just growth, it's a fundamental restructuring of the global IT supply chain.
And when an asset class gets that big, people need a way to price it.
Which is why Silicon Data just launched the world's first daily GPU pricing index for NVIDIA's B200 platform.
This makes it official then. The GPU cluster is a real financial asset.
It is. This index gives lenders and investors the data they need, reflecting what the market actually pays to rent these things daily, not just the list price. Compute is now a formal commodity.
And the spending goes way beyond just the GPU. We also saw projections for optical transceivers.
The essential high-speed communication links inside the data centers. You need them to connect all those GPUs.
And that market is projected to hit. What was it?
About $47.64 billion by 2035. You need incredibly fast pipes of light to connect all those multi-billion-dollar GPU clusters.
And this demand is now trickling down to the consumer level.
Right. We're seeing upcoming consumer GPUs like the Asus Prime GeForce RTX 5070 Ti explicitly optimized for AI inference.
Okay, explain that. What does it mean for a consumer card to be optimized for lower precisions like FP4 and FP8? Is that just jargon?
No, it's really important. Training a model often uses higher precisions like FP16 or FP32, but lower precisions like FP4 and FP8 are perfect for inference, for actually running the models quickly.
So the chip itself is designed differently.
Exactly. The silicon is now architecturally designed to run on-device AI agents efficiently. It's pushing the AI factory right onto your desk.
And finally, on the investment front, a huge story confirming how global this has become.
A massive story. Major U.S. tech companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, have poured a huge amount of money into the Indian AI market.
The total figure was $67.5 billion.
$67.5 billion. It positions India as a absolutely critical player for talent and AI deployment globally.
All right, so if the last segment showed us the colossal bet the market is making on AI hardware, this next segment is all about the proof that the bet is actually paying off.
This is the definitive shift to profitability. We have tangible, quantifiable evidence now.
Let's start about JPMorgan Chase.
Financial analysis showed they've reached cost-benefit parity on their annual AI spend.
Which means
They invested $2 billion, and they generated $2 billion in annual savings and revenue benefits.
that's a clean 100% ROI. It proves AI is shifting from being a capital expenditure, that big experimental upfront cost, to an operational expenditure.
It's like a utility now, a reliable machine that generates immediate, measurable returns.
And it's not just in finance. Look at Walmart.
Their deep integration of AI into logistics delivered a 40% reduction in per-order delivery costs.
40%. When AI cuts your delivery costs by almost half, you know it's become truly infrastructural.
But that push for ROI is being tempered by a dose of reality. And this links back to that anthropic failure rate we talked about.
This is the Salesforce story.
Yes. After observing what they called AI drift with their agents, they're now pushing for more deterministic or predictable automation.
What happened?
They found their LLM agents would, lose focus or just drop instructions if you gave them more than 8 complex tasks.
8 tasks. That's not a lot.
No. And it prompted them to pull back from using conversational AI in their most critical systems. That institutional cost of unreliability is the other side of the profit coin.
And that need for safety and accountability is finally showing up in government policy.
It is. The UK government released a definitive AI toolkit for schools. It mandates a human in the loop for any generative AI use.
So no high-stakes decision like grading or admissions can be based solely on AI.
Correct. There has to be human review.
We're also seeing more coordinated efforts in Asia.
Right. China inaugurated an AI open alliance in Guangzhou. It's meant to pool resources between academia and industry.
A united force approach.
Bringing together 25 inaugural members, 17 top universities, and major tech companies like Huawei and Tencent, merging academic data with industrial compute.
And finally, Japan is celebrating the practical, quantifiable wins.
The Japan Generative AI Award winners were announced, and they highlight really useful specific applications. Shift Inc., for example, was recognized for using AI to assist with disability employment.
And they saw a real productivity increase.
A 1.7x productivity increase. That's a real tangible benefit. Hashtag outro.
So the main takeaway from this massive data dump on December 25th, AI has, I think, decisively matured. It's not a future concept anymore. It's an operational machine delivering huge measurable returns today.
And for you, the listener, there are 2 new products that really capture this platform shift. First, OpenAI's ChatGPT Atlas. It represents a totally new way of browsing the web, making the interface itself intelligent.
In a second.
Anthropic's Computer Use API. It's a direct path to automating any desktop software you use, no matter who made it.
We've got 2 numbers that I think really capture the twin forces of confidence and constraint in the industry right now. First, $624.4 billion.
That's the projected size of the global AI hardware market by 2035. The scale of the infrastructure boom is just colossal.
And the second number?
47%. That's the failure rate Anthropic reported for its new API on complex booking tasks. It's that honest, messy number that shows the critical gap between AI's promise and its current real-world reliability.
Which brings us to the big question that really underpins all of this. On one hand, you have OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman calling this the luckiest generation to start a career, seeing a future of pure creativity thanks to AGI.
But on the other, you have Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman, who argues there is no winning of AGI. He suggests the focus needs to shift to institutional strength and self-sufficiency.
And when you look at the data today, that 47% failure rate, the AI drift at Salesforce, raises a crucial question for you to think about.
Does that pursuit of AGI supremacy, which drives all this excitement and innovation, inevitably lead to institutional unreliability? Or does focusing on predictable institutional strength, like Suleyman suggests, offer a safer and maybe more valuable long-term path for this technology? We'll leave you with that thought.